Collecting points is long. Virgin, Avios, membership reward points, so the last thing you want to do is waste those points on poor value redemption. In this guide, we'll count down 6 of the worst ways to use your hard-earned points and highlight what you could get if you use them more wisely. By avoiding these pitfalls, you can stretch your points for maximum travel value. Some of these are going to surprise you. In no particular order, number 1 on the worst ways to spend your points is to use Avios for seat selection. British Airways and other airlines allow you to use Avios or points to pay in advance for seat selection. And as attractive as that might sound when you're looking at a 2 in the middle of a 242 configuration, it is a terrible redemption in most cases. I know it's tempting. I have been stung before, which is exactly why I'm here telling you not to do it, because when you see that you can get a flight for the same amount or less Avios than you've paid for the seat selection, it's really hard to justify that it could ever make sense. For example, 2 selected seats between London and Chicago with a cash price of £80 per seat would cost around 14,000 Avios if using points. Here's some of the cities that you could fly to, return from London with the same 14,000 Avios, plus a small cash fee of £1. Yes, the cost of seat selection in 2025 is extortionate. And yes, those twin seats at the back of BA's long-haul cabins are far more attractive for couples than sitting in 3. But think about the long term. If you have elite status, so BA, silver, gold, or some kind of equivalent, you often get free advanced seat selection anyway. On top of that, some airlines in the One World group, like Qatar, will offer free seat selection with some categories of classes all the way from economy to business. And if you really have to, consider paying cash for your seats if you can afford it. Save your Avios for things like flights or upgrades where the real value is. Next up, we have using points for small discounts on fares. I see this one catching people out all the time. Many programs let you use points to shave a few pounds off the booking at checkout. British Airways Part Pay with Avios is an example of this. You can redeem Avios to reduce the cash price of a ticket. This is not to be confused with a reward flight, which has a similar layout, but a completely different value. The Part Pay Avios is usually a very poor redemption. I've covered this in some other videos, but let's go into a bit of detail. Even though there is a cash element to the British Airways reward flights, it is not the same as this Part Pay booking process. To give an example, 56,000 Avios to get £230 as a discount off a return flight to New York is a terrible, terrible decision. These prices are over the festive period, so they are unusually high, but that same 56,000 Avios plus around £150 in cash could get you the entire return flight if booked through Avios rewards. This is of course because reward flights are not impacted by supply and demand. It's very much off-peak and peak. Those are the only 2 prices. The next one might be controversial, but that is using points to book hotel stays through loyalty programs. It might be tempting, but it's pretty dead. I've got a video in the works where my wife and I picked some 5-star Marriott hotels in Asia to see if it's ever worth using points to pay for hotel stays. And the results are surprising. If you haven't already, consider hitting subscribe so that you don't miss that content. But here's a preview. 2 membership reward points, so earned through the Amex Gold or the Amex Platinum, converts into 3 Marriott Bonvoy points. So if you had 100,000 membership reward points, you get 150,000 Marriott Bonvoy points. That's just about enough for a 2-night stay at a 5-star hotel in Thailand. Sounds nice. Don't get me wrong, it will be an incredible stay, but is it still worth it when you consider that the cash price for those 2 nights would be somewhere between £500 and £600? Is that worth more than a business class flight? Let me know in the comments what you think. As tempting as a 5-star stay might be, it is not often as tempting as redeeming points for statement credit or bills. Using credit card reward points to wipe out purchases or get statement credits might sound convenient, but it is one of the lowest value uses of currencies like Amex membership rewards. In the UK, American Express themselves give an example that 200,000 membership reward points would be enough to get £900 of statement credit on your account. Might sound like a lot, but when you consider that the Amex Platinum costs £650 a year and the current sign-up bonus is 100,000 membership reward points, getting £900 of credit for spending double the sign-up bonus seems wild, but it gets wilder. I just converted 120,000 membership reward points to Qatar privilege points to fly Q Suites from Doha to Bali, a flight that has a cash price of £2,510. So by that logic, 200,000 membership reward points would be worth £6,833 instead of the £900 that it's worth for statement credit. Simply put, don't use membership reward points or any other kind of point to pay your shopping bills or credit card bills unless you have no other choice. It's difficult to see any scenario where using points to pay off charges makes sense. There are other non-travel focused cards that are much better suited for doing that if that is your intention. In at number 5 is spending Avios or points on shopping and merchandise. Airlines and banks love to entice people in with catalogs of wine, gadgets, and merchandise in exchange for points. Unfortunately, these shopping redemptions often offer rock bottom value. A notorious example, using Avios at the British Airways Wine Flyer store. You could use Avios to buy a case of wine which has a value of £165.99 and you would fork over 117,000 Avios. I've just shown you what you can get for 120,000 points. This doesn't need much more explanation. It's not just wine, whether it's electronics, luggage, or merchandise, the redemption rates are generally just poor. Even using Avios for Apple products via special promotions, you're better off converting the Avios to Nectar and then just buying the item in cash. Goes without saying that gift cards and food vouchers also fits into this category, and any charitable donation you might be thinking of making using these points. I'm not saying don't donate to charities, I'm just saying do it the way we've been doing it for years, hard-earned cash. It's not the place for points. It may come as a surprise, but one of the worst cases of use of Avios or other points is long-haul economy tickets on routes with heavy taxes and fees. The reason is that British Airways and some other carriers as well impose steep fuel surcharges and airport taxes on some of the reward tickets. You still pay those fees in cash, so your points only cover the base fare, which is often a fraction of the overall ticket price. The result though is a very low value per point. These sorts of flights generally make a lot more sense in peak travel periods when cash prices are astronomically high. For example, a return flight from London to New York might cost around 60,000 Avios and then £150 in taxes and fees and surcharges. There's somewhere between 30 and 40 flights every single day to New York just from London. Often there's plenty of other affordable options, especially outside of peak periods. If a cash ticket is £350, you're spending 60,000 points to save £200 because you still have to pay the £150 in taxes and fees. You'd be better off paying cash for economy and saving the points. In contrast, those 60,000 Avios or points could be used for an upgrade or a one-way business class seat where the redemption value is way higher. Long-haul premium cabins tend to deliver way higher value per point than anything else, but if premium travel isn't your thing, or perhaps you've got a bigger family and you want to make the points stretch further, there are alternatives like redeeming the Avios or points on partner airlines with lower taxes and fees such as Iberia, or also using the points on short-haul flights during peak seasons like the summer holidays or Christmas, where you can really see some incredible value. Both can get you value way beyond long-haul economy cabins. We work way too hard and wait way too long to let these points go to waste. So hopefully you found this useful. If you did, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to Miles Ahead. I'm Jordan, and as always, I appreciate you. Safe.